Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
You literally have the power to manifest exactly what it is that you want. Once you shift your negative to a positive and fully align your mindset on the path that is designed for you, everything is much clearer. You have the power. You control your future. You can't worry about the past anymore. The past is yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Fully engage. Fully be mindful of what you possess. You're powerful. So I'm going to be talking about kind of a topic or this kind of like mindset that has been really kind of coming back to me repeatedly every single week. And it's this idea of maintaining your standard, then elevating, right? And basically what I'm saying is that, like, if you like to eat at a certain type of restaurant, or you like to purchase a certain quality of clothing, or you love to travel, like that's your thing, that's your standard, maintain that standard. Don't drop below that standard for anyone or anything, right? Because the reality of it is, when we lower our standards, we lower our mindset, we lower our actions, we lower our thought process. We put ourselves in a box. I know for me personally, I like to shop at Whole Foods occasionally. I like to shop at Earth Fare, at Trader Joe's. I like to have nice things for my house, stuff like that. So I'm going to always maintain that. Now the key is, though, I feel that we have to maintain our standard within our budget, though. So I'm saying that to say that you don't want to go and max out your credit cards, right? Go over that utilization rate. You typically only supposed to use about 30% of your credit card, technically. So you don't want to go ahead and max out, right? And understand that it's temporary, right? Where you are right now, your standard right now may just be right now. But in a year, in 2 years, shoot, in 3 months, in 6 months, your standard may increase and elevate, and that's ultimately what you want, because we as humans are innately designed for fuller expansion and expression of who we are. So if you look at it, whenever we get to a certain level in life, right, that we want to maintain, say it's a dream job, then when you get there, you're like, okay, what's next? And some people will look at that and say, oh, well, you should be grateful for where you are. Of course, be grateful. Every single day, I thank God, I do my Bible study, all of that. At the same time, though, that's born within us for fuller expression, fuller expansion of who we are and where we're meant to be. I was listening to this YouTube video by Tyler Perry, and he was talking about how he was very scared of flying, right? So what he did is he started to take like flying classes, or to get his pilot license. And he said one day they were in the sky and there started to be a little bit of turbulence. And the co-pilot was with him. And so the co-pilot radioed in, I guess, to the controller. And the controller replied back to him. And he said, climb and maintain. Right? And I know, like, for me, that gives me goosebumps, because he said climb and maintain. And Tyler Perry keep kind of reinforcing that point, climb and maintain. So when you climb, you maintain, you cruise for a minute, right? And then after a little bit of time, then you're like, I can go up a little bit further. That's just like saying, okay, like for me, once I knew how to make $60,000 a year, I was like, boom, check up that list. Let me make $100,000 a year. Once I check that off the list, then it's like, okay, let's see how to make $1 million a year. My goal right now is to turn my yearly income into my monthly income, right? And not by doing things that's going to make me rich quick, but by aligning myself to things I actually love doing and giving. I was telling a church member last night that I don't know what it is. Like, I love giving, whether that's giving of my time, my energy, money, whatever it may be. Of course, still, remembering that I'm important, I come first, all of that. But I love giving. And for me to be able to give more, I want to be in a position to be able to do that, right? So I'm going to always maintain my standard. Jabez makes this joke, but when he met me living in a studio apartment in Buckhead, Georgia, or Atlanta, whatever you guys want to say. And every Saturday, I would eat at this restaurant. I can't remember the restaurant name. But anyway, they had these really, really cool muffins. And the muffins were like $8 or $7 for this little muffin. But I would always get it because it was so good. I remember you to make the show. You paying $8 for a muffin? And I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? That's my standard. My standard may not always align to your standard. You know what I'm saying? But I know where I am now is far from where I'm going to be or where I visualize and see myself being. I'm going to end by kind of sharing this story about my mom. And it's kind of gave me goosebumps and made me emotional as I thought about it yesterday. Some my friends are familiar with, my mom and our story, whatever the case is. But my mom bought a house, right? And then she built apartments attached to it. So for example, it's our house and then she has 2 units, right? So growing up, that was a really good income. I mean, not the best tenants at times, but that was a very good income. And I remember there would be times, and not a whole lot of times, maybe like 2 or 3 times where my mom was out of work for whatever reason. I don't know, like I can't remember exactly what it was, but she would be out of work. And I remember my mom never lowered her standard for herself or for us. We were in private school. Every summer we would go away. Every single summer we would go away. Our house was always well put together, always clean. Every Christmas my mom would get us, not every single Christmas, but a lot of Christmases she would get us allow us to get outfits from Tommy Hilfiger, right? And every time we would come home from school, my mom would cook. I remember me and my sister and I used to be so excited when we came home. My mom made like some curry chicken and white rice. If you Caribbean, that curry chicken and white rice hits different, right? But I remember us coming home and being like, I bake Italia. Mommy cooked that curry chicken and white rice, And even though she was out of work, my mom never lowered her standards. The only thing she did was like Tyler Perry says, she climbed and maintained. Climbed and maintained. Climbed and maintained. Never lower that standard. So even for me, like sometimes I may feel like, oh gosh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to do this, I want to do that. I'll give a prime example. This summer, I really want to take Jai on a really, really good trip. So now I'm starting to really budget out just for that trip. And not a trip that we have to be limited in what we're able to do. I want us to be able to go on a trip and, if we want to go to the museum, go on a boat ride, go out for lunch, I want us to be able to enjoy that without limits. That is my standard for myself and my standard for my son, right? In that, because he's used to a certain standard, or because he will be used to a certain standard, he's never going to lower that. All he can do is continue to climb and maintain. When you look at certain celebrities and people who are wealthy, 9 out of 10, they ain't hanging around with no bums. They hang around with people who are either on the same vibration as them or higher, because that's your standard, that's your base. So I would just say to anybody, encourage anyone, do not lower your standards for anyone, anything, any situation. Climb and maintain. Climb and maintain. Because where you meant to be, everybody can't see your vision. But guess what the beauty of that is? It isn't everyone's job to see your vision, right? You can't tell everybody what it is that you're doing. Maintain that standard and then elevate. So be wherever you are for a minute, be there, okay? See the beauty in the journey. Sometimes we sign up, like Lisa Nichols said, and I have to quote her because I've been listening to her heavy. Lisa Nichols said, sometimes we sign up for the destination, but not the journey. You have to be willing to be in that journey because sometimes it ain't easy. And that's what separates a goat from a sheep. When it gets hard, what do? Either you staying up late nights, you getting up early, you hustling every day, or you can say, oh no, it's all right, I'ma just chill. Maintain your standard, then elevate. Climb and maintain. See you later, guys.